WVVA in Focus, a weekly program about important issues and events in the two Virginias.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to this edition of In Focus. This morning, we are discussing the recap of Stevie's St. Paddy's Day Soup-Off. It's an event we previewed a few weeks ago. In just a moment, we will hear from the organizers at the RailYard and Clover Club and also from some of the winners. And this morning's guests include Erica Seibert-Atwell and Emma Bailey with the RailYard and Clover Club. Also joining us in just a bit will be Amy Marson. She's the winner of the cream-based soup category. John Eller, winner of the bisque and chowders category. Robert Bailey is the winner of the soup competition overall. And we will also be mentioning the other winners who couldn't be here today. And there's Chef Stevie, hard at work. We previewed that. Well, I want to welcome right now Emma and Erica to the set. Thank you both for being here to share more information about this amazing event.
Thanks for having us back again.
Absolutely.
It's exciting to be here again.
Yeah, and it's great to do a recap of it, right? Because we do a lot of event previews, but I think it's important to share with the viewers like how it went and looking forward to next year. So, ladies, let's talk about how this idea came about in the first place to do this soup-off.
Well, so Stevie is our kitchen manager now. He's actually promoted not too long ago, and he, a couple months ago, or maybe even a year ago, he just started making soup in the kitchen, and we always had a soup of the day, and he just kind of like fell in love with making soup, and it just kind of, everybody would start coming into the RailYard and say, well, what's the soup of the day? And so we were like, well, we need to put like Stevie's soup on the menu. And then he entered a soup off at, what was
it? Was Southwest Virginia Community College, and he won.
Yes, he did, which was so awesome, but that kind of sparked this event. I mean, Erica and Stevie kind of got together and said, we need to do this in the Clover Club. And we were like, well, when's the best time to do it? And I was like, well, the fall and cold. And Erica's like, no, St. Patrick's Day. And
great idea.
At this time, we had, I don't know, maybe a month and a half to plan this.
Wow.
So I was like, all right, you want to do it for St. Patrick's Day? Get to it. Let's make this event happen. So
and then we were off.
You worked quickly, and that's great that it came together for St. Paddy's Day. And there's some video of the event itself. I was one of the judges. Thank you, ladies, for having me as a judge.
Oh, it was great.
Yes. Oh, and all the soups were just wonderful. About how many people competed this year?
So we actually had 20 people sign up. We had a few people that didn't make it on the day of sicknesses and whatnot. So I think we had a total of 16 soups that we featured on the day, of which it was plenty. There was, it was so much to taste. And I think everybody had a really good time with, going around and getting to taste all of the different soups. And you were right. The judges said that they had a really hard time deciding. I mean, at one point, I think Stevie, who was one of our head judges, came up and was like, I don't know how I'm going to do this. I don't know how I'm going to do this, Erica. They're all so good. He was kind of waiting for a couple people to show up and, be like, easy. But no, everybody came up and showed up.
Right.
So.
I mean, it was truly difficult because, like, the soups, like, each of them had a unique flavor. And let's talk about the categories, right? So there was cream-based soup, there was bisque and chowders, the overall winner, there was chili.
Yeah, there was a broth-based soup category as well. So yeah, so we tried to split it up into 4 different categories, and then of course we had the People's Choice Award and our grand prize winners. So we had 6 prizes overall, good prizes we think, and
absolutely,
and that was made and that was made possible by Grant Supermarket. Ronnie Martin, big supporter of our efforts, and we couldn't have done it without him. It was really great.
Right.
So.
And why do you all think it was important to have an event like this for St. Paddy's Day? Are we thinking about continuing this looking ahead as well?
Yeah, so I think I was really excited. Emma said, let's do it St. Paddy's Day. I'm excited. I love St. Paddy's Day festivals. I think, and I think a lot of times St. Paddy's Day around this area kind of gets glossed over. There's not a whole lot going on, and people leave town. And I thought, let's do something really fun that's different, that we can get people to come downtown and, celebrate St. Paddy's Day here. They don't have to leave town anymore. So, that was kind of what our,
and then we're absolutely hoping this will be an annual thing and that the city will get more and more involved. We had the bounce houses outside, and we hope that we can do more next year. Better weather. It was good weather, but it was a little chilly outside, so we're hoping to do a little bit better weather next year. So hopefully that happens, but hopefully we'll bring more to the area, and then downtown Bluefield will be the place you want to be for St. Patrick's Day next year.
Yeah, definitely. And it was important to have these folks be a part of the competition. So let's talk about that and those who competed and signed up, and just the importance of having them be a part of this event and continuing it moving forward with those chefs.
I'm so impressed with, first of all, I mean, you know, you have your home cooks, and people really, especially, you know, I said over COVID, it's when everybody, you know, all of our amateur chefs really kind of they cultivated their craft, if you will. You know, everybody got kind of excited about cooking over COVID. And people have really stepped it up and become very good at making food. And so we thought it would be so cool to start featuring some of these amateur chefs. And let me tell you, the competition was intense.
Yes, it was.
They were having so much fun with the competition, and just, you know, between each other, and a lot of, you know, a lot of smack talking, but it was, you know, but it was really neat to see. I think my favorite part of the whole competition was watching the other soup makers support the other soup makers.
They were all the prizes. They were all so excited. And cheering everyone on.
The overall positivity of the event was probably my favorite thing of the day. Everybody that was there had such a great time. Everybody was so excited, talking about. It was neat to walk around the room and listen to everybody be like, "Oh, I tried that soup, and this had this much tomato, and this one was this," and they were, you know, tasting.
I know.
You know, and so it was neat to kind of see everybody turn into into judges, and critics.
And like,
so that was my favorite part.
And like socializing about it. And Emma, what was your favorite part of this year's competition then?
I think everything was my favorite. I think just seeing everybody up there, you know, events can be tough. Doing especially our own events, but they're so much fun when they happen, and you see people enjoying themselves and laughing, and just overall, just the experience and everything that everybody was enjoying themselves up there.
Well, and I think it's important, like what you both were saying, having an event in Bluefield where folks don't need to leave town, They can just enjoy themselves downtown for St. Patty's Day in Bluefield. What other events might the RailYard Clover Club be doing looking ahead maybe this year that folks could be excited about?
Well, we have some events planned that aren't exactly food-based events. We have the Daddy-Daughter Dance that will be coming in May, which we're really excited. That's one of my favorite events. We're thinking about a couple other ones. In the fall, we're going to do dueling pianos again, but we have started talking about some other food events. So maybe like a barbecue event, maybe. We'll see kind of what happens, but Erica is still fairly new to the job, so she's getting her toes, feet wet. And she's seeing what she wants to do. So we're really excited to, you know, have Erica up there and put these events on. So.
Yeah, for sure. And then also, you mentioned Stevie's soup as well, or we were talking about it, that he won the competition at Southwest. Is that soup available at the RailYard, or what kind of specials does he have that he puts together for folks?
So it's not available all the time. We showcased it right after he won, and then we did it the day of the event as well. We always have our French onion soup available. And then we have Stevie's soup of the day on the menu. So that's just kind of whatever he's kind of feeling in the mood for. So I don't know what he's going to be doing this week, but I can promise you, it's going to be delicious. So, and then we change our seasonals on our menu a lot, or every season. So sometimes we'll change that signature soup that we have, so you can maybe look to see something a little different.
Okay, so just stop by and maybe see what Stevie has in store for you. All right, ladies, thank you so much. We have to take a quick break, but we'll hear from the winners coming up after this. We'll be right back.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Welcome back to this edition of In Focus, everyone. This morning, we are doing a recap of Stevie's St. Patty's Day Soup-Off, which happened around St. Patty's Day. It was March 18th at the Clover Club in Bluefield, West Virginia. And you could see Stevie there behind the scenes in action, cooking his soup. And there is some video of some of the fabulous soups that happened at the inaugural event this year as well. So I'd like to welcome some of the winners to the set. We have Amy Marson. She's the winner of the cream-based soup category. Amy, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
It's great to have you. And John Eller, winner of the bisque and chowders category. And I must mention his soup was cold and it was so, so good. John, thanks for being here.
Melinda, thank you.
Absolutely. And then also joining us, the winner of the soup competition overall, Robert Bailey. Robert, thank you for being here.
Good morning, Melinda. How are you?
Doing well, and your soup was Cuban inspired by one of your babysitters, I understand.
That's correct, my next door neighbor.
Oh, well, we'll hear all about that in a minute. But Amy, I'll start with you. Let's talk about your soup. What did you put together this year?
So I did a zuppa toscana, which is just, was kind of inspired. We were fortunate enough to live overseas and being in the military, and I got to actually learn from some of our Italian friends. And what I learned about the soup is it was actually a soup started in the medieval times during very hard times to feed the family with less expensive ingredients. So, but it's become a staple, especially in America. We love it.
Oh, definitely, and that's incredible that you learned the authentic way of doing it. And I should mention to our viewers, Cecil Marson, you've seen him here on set before, the Bluefield city manager. This is his wife, Amy, too. So yeah, so Amy, when you were overseas, you and your family with Cecil, did you learn from the Italians there? Did they teach you how to put together everything with your soup?
They actually, it's funny, they kind of have jokes about how we Americanize things, and like our soup in America doesn't necessarily have the cannelli beans in it, which are cannellini, I don't even know, the white bean. Yeah. And I didn't put that in mine, but theirs traditionally would. So they really, and we were really able to just kind of learn. And Italians just have a love of cooking and a love of eating, and the soup there, where it's one meal for us, that would be a course of many for them. So
right.
Anyway, so it was fun. We did get that. We had that opportunity.
Yeah, and it was so nice that you participated this year as well.
100%. I appreciate the RailYard and the Clover Club giving us, and I mean, I was so excited, and I just have to say it was so easy. They made it so easy to register, to get involved. It was painless, and it was so fun, like Erica said. Like, we laughed and had the best time.
Yeah, and made new friends along the way, I'm sure.
I did, my new friends.
See, right here on set.
Even though they beat me.
Right. Friendly competition with everyone.
Friendly competition, that's right.
So, John, let's talk about your soup. What's it called, and how do you make it?
So, my soup was sort of an underdog of the event. I mean, it was a cold soup. I made a gazpacho. I wish I had this whole backstory, you know, that I went to Mexico and, I studied,
Right.
but, got the recipe from, a little old lady who lived in a small town and,
Didn't happen that way.
It did not happen that way. So my soup was very heavily tomato and cucumber based. For it to be a Spanish-style soup, it did have quite a few Korean and Japanese seasonings. It had mirin. It had Japanese fish sauce. The garnish was actually a slice of hothouse cucumber and a balm tomato dipped in tahini, which had sort of a lime kick. But I didn't go into this to win. My friend Erica, she put the whole event together, and I just wanted it to be a fun day. It was going to be, a fun weekend altogether, it being St. Patrick's Day. So my goal was to have fun for the day. Me winning my category was just icing on the cake.
Right, and goal achieved. I think we all just had a great time trying all the different soups, and I must say all three of you did a great job presenting the soups too. That's what really stood out to me, and some of the judges mentioned that as well. The presentation was just, it was on point. So Robert, let's go ahead and talk about your soup, and you're the overall winner of the competition, so congrats to you. Let's talk about your Cuban-inspired soup and how it came about, because you do have an interesting story.
Well, yeah, I was born and raised in the Little Havana district of Miami, and the next-door neighbor to us was the lady who babysat me. And I was a handful when I was little, and so she made me stay in the kitchen with her. So anytime she cooked, I was there in the kitchen with her so she could keep an eye on me. And over the years, I've learned her recipes and learned quite a few dishes from her. And so this was a soup that I learned probably when I was 4 or 5, started to learn how to make, just because I was in the kitchen. And over the years, I've been making it for many, many years, and people seem to love it.
Oh yeah, it's fantastic. So let's talk about the ingredients, because I really noticed like the avocado, the lime really flavored it, and that was unexpected. I didn't expect that would be in your soup.
Right, avocado is something that people don't expect in a hot soup, but it really does hold up well. And then the cilantro and lime make the difference in the soup. It's very light, and people don't expect that soup to be very light like it is.
Right, and the chicken was flavored really good too. So let's talk about the prep time for each of you. Like, how early were you up that morning and that Saturday getting ready, and how much soup did you actually prepare? Amy?
Well, I first made, I think, 3 quarts, and that took a long time, and then read the directions and saw it was 6. So,
oh, wow.
So then I made 4 more so that I would have enough for leftovers for dinner, and that didn't happen. It was fun because everyone was just eating.
Yes.
So, but it was, the whole process was so fun that it wasn't, it was fun prepping and just getting that friendly competition started, and a couple of my friends entered, so we're texting back and forth and getting geared up. So it was super fun.
And John, let's talk about the prep for your soup.
Mine was a little different. Whenever I make my soup, it's in 3-quart batches. All the ingredients have to be chopped and immersion blended. So I was lucky enough in the fact that I sort of spread it out over a couple days. I would make 3 batches, put them in the fridge, and slowly build up to, I made a total of 9 quarts. The minimum was 6. So 3, 6, 9. I wish I had made so much more because I ran out so quickly. People kept coming back, which, believe me, I was thrilled for them to. It's weird whenever you make something, and believe me, I am not a cook. I do not claim to be a cook. I'm much more of a preparer.
Okay.
But this is something that I've made before that I personally love, that I've made for other people. And it's easy traveling in the containers that I use. I had the lead banjo player of the band
Yep,
come
Long Point
back
Band. Yep.
4 times
Wow.
to try my soup. But then again, he voted for me 4 different times.
That's good.
Best compliment.
Right, and that's a good point too, is folks had the chance to vote, and Kelly Knowles won the People's Choice Award as well, so congrats to Kelly.
Yes.
And then, Robert, let's talk about the prep time for your soup.
Well, I started about 5 o'clock that morning. on
Early
mine.
riser.
Yeah, I had to get up early to start this. There's a lot of prep to it. And then I needed to cut up things small enough for the small containers that they were being served in. Normally, I serve it in a great big bowl, and it's easier to do. And I made 5.5 gallons is what I made. And barely had any leftover.
Right, and like you said, people kept coming back for seconds because you get a little container, but people are like, wait, I need more soup. I don't want to eat more. Well, speaking of more, we have much more to talk about. We do have to take a quick break, but we'll be back after this. Welcome back to this edition of In Focus, everyone. This morning, it's all about the soup. We're talking about food. We're talking about the recap of Stevie's St. Paddy's Day Soup-Off, which occurred at the Clover Club in Bluefield, West Virginia on Saturday, March 18th. It was a great event. So full disclosure, I'm not really a chef at all. I don't really cook at all, like anything. So I do want to learn from these 3 on set. And I know, John, you said you're more of a preparer.
Wrong person here.
But still, I feel like I can absorb some information from each of you. Amy, I'll start with you. For someone like me or someone else out there who's watching, who's like really just wanting to learn, but they're not sure how to get started with cooking, what advice would you give them?
You know, I think it's just kind of take a recipe and make it your own. Like, I have a lot of fun in the kitchen. You have guidelines, and you can, you know, with the internet, you can look up anything and follow. But I always, the big joke in my family is I can't ever follow a recipe just like it says. I have to do something to make it a little different. But you can tweak anything. So I think just get in there and go for it. And if your family is honest with you, they'll let you know if you did a good job.
They'll tell you, right? If it needs more seasoning.
Yeah, so just have fun. It really is fun. And I think that's what I can say about this event. Like, I can't wait till next year, and I hope there's even more and competition and more people entering, because it was so fun.
Yes, it was.
Yes.
Yeah, fun really does summarize it. I mean, everyone had a great time. It was just a fantastic event. So, John, the preparer, tell me and those watching, how do we get started preparing, cooking, putting together something?
I think at least with me, it came from fixing things and preparing things that I liked. You know, I don't have a big family. I live alone. So, you know, it's sort of about my taste buds than anyone else. And watching a lot of Food Network
There we go.
helps.
Yes.
Right, getting inspired by those Food Network experts. And Robert, what about you? What advice would you offer for novices out there?
If it's good and they enjoy making it, then go for it. I mean, it's all about having fun. And that's what I enjoy the most about it, is having fun. I never expected to enter this. I was talked into it by my girlfriend. She kept telling me that my soup was good, and a lot of people have told me that, but you don't ever realize it until you actually enter something like this. For me, it was about the camaraderie of the other people there, and a lot of fun, and somebody danced the whole way through it. I'm not going to mention any names, but yeah, we had a great time.
I love it, and making new friends, and that's what it's all about, you know, just living your best life and having a great time. So what are you all looking forward to about the next competition? What do you think? Are you going to enter again? Are you going to enter other soup competitions? Are you going to maybe start selling your soup? Let's talk about what's next for each of you. Amy?
I think definitely I'll enter again because it was fun, but like you said, if there's more people entering, I'll have more time to dance out there. It was a great band. Like, it was super. The whole atmosphere was incredible. So, yeah, I'll get back out there for sure next year. And if you know, they collaborate and have more contests, I don't know how to barbecue, but I'll try. I'll try it.
Right, give it a shot.
Give it a shot.
If there's a barbecue competition, hey, we'll be there too. So, John, what about you? What's next for you? And again, I bet people really wanted to purchase your soups too.
Actually, I had a couple of people who wanted to purchase my soup, but as soon as, you know, Ina Garden calls, then it may be on the line. But I will most definitely be back next year. It was so much fun.
Yeah.
It really was.
Yes, it
and I know
was.
we keep
that's
saying
the
that,
best
but it
word
really
for it.
was. But there were so many people to come and go that entire day.
Right, and what feedback did you all get from those who did try your soup? Because I'm sure that they were giving you feedback right there at your booths too. So.
Just that it was hard to make a decision. That was a big one, and also people were getting full. I mean, it was little cups, and at first I thought, oh, we need bigger cups, but we didn't. It was perfect. Like, just seriously, organizational wise, and for this being the first time, it was just so smooth and effortless for those of us participating. So I would just, I mean, it was amazing.
Yeah.
I think with mine, I think people gravitated to the fact that it was different. It was something different. You know, and I was the first person coming in, so I don't know if my soup exactly set the tone for the event, but I thoroughly enjoyed myself, and the Clover Club was a great venue to have that at.
100%.
And Robert, let's talk about what's next for you as well. I'm sure people wanted to buy your soup too. It was so good and unique.
I had a lot of people that did want it. I didn't know what to do about that. I've never sold my soup or anything like that, but I plan on entering next year. I have another soup that I want to enter.
Uh-oh. We're starting the competition
it's probably
already.
just as good as this one.
Oh, I love it. Can you give us a hint of what it is?
It's oxtail soup.
Oh.
We already want the clock to move forward to next St. Patty's Day. Like, this is amazing.
We better get on our next recipes.
All right, well, we have just a little bit of time left. So, Amy, what are your thoughts about, just overall concluding thoughts about this year's event, and just anything else you'd like the viewers to know? Maybe someone who wasn't there, what would you like them to know, maybe looking ahead for next year, and maybe to get them out to come next year?
Well, I just think it was well done. It was easy to enter. And if I was a patron just visiting, like, as you even approached the venue, there's, you know, drinks, and there's tables set up, and there's things for children, and it's just good to see downtown being revitalized and people out. That was the best thing. Just coming off of COVID and, you know, just trying to get people back. We got comfortable being alone and being inside, and just to have, you know, the Clover Club and RailYard set up a venue where we could get out and just interact with each other, joke. It was phenomenal. So my hope is that more people see this, and next year, I mean, if they thought they missed out this year, they really need to come out, because it was great. And the more the merrier, right?
Yeah, exactly. And like you said, the camaraderie was great too.
It was.
So, John, concluding thoughts from you.
Well, a future word to future contestants. If you think you made enough soup, make more.
Make even more.
It's true.
But plus, you know, the event,
true.
people who came out for the day, it wasn't the warmest day, but
No.
it was a pretty day. It was a very sunny day. There were other events in the area. So I think when people come out for that type of event, they're going to, if they know about these other events, they're going to make a day of it.
Exactly. And that's the point. Make a day of it in downtown Bluefield. Robert, concluding thoughts for our viewers who are watching this morning.
I think that if you make a soup that you really like, I think you should enter it. I really do. I think that we would get a mix of flavors from all over the area. Like the three of us, we put out soups that people didn't expect.
Exactly.
And I was amazed by the varieties that we had this year. So I will definitely be entering next year, and I think that anybody that has a soup that they like at home and their family likes, I think they should enter it.
Right, and like you said, give it a shot.
Right.
Because you don't know, and like you don't know what people are gonna say, but hey, you all ended up winners, and I think everyone did such a great job preparing their soups and putting them together. So thank you all for coming in this morning and talking to us more about your delicious foods. We appreciate it.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Thank you, Melinda.
And that does it for this edition of In Focus. Remember, the show is about people and events in the two Virginias, so if you have an idea, you can always send me an email. It's mzosh, Z-O-S-H, @WVVA.com. We hope you have a great day. See you next time.